he loses her, and the old bellied beast of the V8 supercar gets out from under him, and he loses it. Just, really, really unfortunate for him. I hated to see it, but big breath of fresh air for Mike Budzing, who had an outstanding race last week. So that ended it right there. I mean, that was the end of that battle. And but I'm sure we'll look for Clifton this week to maybe make a little redemption there, as he'll maybe be able to go all 18 grueling laps here at VIR to get a great finish here.
Yeah, that was a great battle. And then, of course, with a couple laps later, we had the finishing of the race with Chad Chastain finishing 32 seconds in front of second place position. And then what was unbelievable was the second place position finished 30 seconds in front of the third place.
And that's one of the biggest leads, Kane, we've seen in V8 Supercar Americas in quite some time. I know as far as broadcasting, we're a little bit newer to the series. This is our second official broadcast with V8s Online. Happy to be here. But, man, that was just some race we saw. I have not seen a gap like that in quite some time between first and second, and then second and third like that. That is just really big gap.
On the screen.
So just an outstanding job by, of course, race winner Chad Chastain.
Yeah,
Man, that's right behind him in second place, a good 30
down
seconds
to
back.
allow,
Michael J. Johnson,
Mike to stay on the
fantastic
lead
job by
lap
both
there and
drivers.
cross the
Both
finish
drivers
line.
really deserve a pat on the
First
back.
place.
But I think
that
it's
is
going to be a
the
little
win
bit
for Chad
closer
Chastain.
this weekend, Kane. I
What a
really
great
do.
move
I
by
think
Chad.
VIR is going to be quite a challenge for every driver on the track. I think we're going to have to watch for these guys to really slow it down this week. They're not going to be able to be as fast as they were last week, and that's going to be, a real task. And we'll talk about that a little bit more, a little bit closer to race time. We'll be getting that way shortly. I do want to say something great. We are happy to be here with V8s Online, Kane, and I want to let everybody know about a great show that's being presented by V8s Online. It's called Short Shift, and if you haven't had a chance to check it out, it is just an incredible show put on by Jay Kennedy and Sandman, and just an unbelievable job by these guys. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, please check it out. Kane, I believe we have a nice little clip to kind of have here in the background, and let some of the guys get a little clip of it now, but really a great show.
Yeah, they did such a great job on putting that together. I can't find my clip right this second. We'll have to come back to that one here in just a minute.
No problem. While Kane's working on that, there's another thing I want to talk about. It's been a huge week for the iRacing.com simulator, as their partner Trading Paints has went through a huge overhaul and has brought in a ton of new features, and I cannot wait. I cannot stress enough about how incredible it is for Trading Paints. They are now offering for $23 for a year to be a pro member, and just the unbelievable features. Even before I read the features, I went ahead and got mine because I wanted to be a pro member. Number one, I enjoy painting, but number two, I wanted to support this group, as they've done so much for iRacing, and iRacing really would not have quite as much of a glare with the sponsors and wonderful things that we're able to add to our Ford Falcons, and it's just an incredible feature to have Trading Paints. So go by and check them out, guys. It's an incredible place. One of the huge features I'm excited about is league specific logos, and I don't know if we can do it with iRacing Official Series. I don't know if it's just in league sessions, but I'll have to look into that. But for example, if you have a league and you can get your league logos put on, the hood of the car, or put it on the boot or wherever. You can put it on the banner on top. You can actually put decals in places that you normally could not put them before. So quite a lot of good features. Other features include special nighttime liveries, as well as special fire suits for certain specific cars. And I think that's just a wonderful thing for them to bring to the table. And I think we'll be able to have a lot of the drivers, and I think a lot of the drivers will be able to attract some more sponsors because of that, Kane. I think that's a really big point behind it, was you now can have a lot more to sponsor, and that's a really nice thing to have. Anytime you can show off more for your sponsors, it's great. Maybe we'll see maybe we'll see a V8's Americas and V8's Online car coming out real soon. Wink, wink.
Yeah, you never know what the future holds with this new paint thing. I'm not never been very graphically coordinated, I guess is what you'd call it, and so I've not ever been able to design my own skin or anything. But this thing makes it pretty easy. The built-in and skin designer, and it's just so cool. They have done such an awesome job.
It truly is amazing, Kane, what they have done. I was just expecting a tiny little update, and instead we got this complete overhaul of the Trading Paints software, not software, but service that they provide. And, if some people are upset about the $23 a year pro membership, there is nothing that was free before that is not now. It's still 100% free for all the features that you had before. The only thing that is not is for the high-res skins. Now, if you put a high-res skin on your car, it will show up in high-res. Though the thing that they're saying is for you to be able to see the high-res is what I'm thinking is you're going to have to be a pro member. That's what I think. I'll have to look into it more, but I was reading from the forums, and that's what I gathered. So, but that's about it. Other than that, it's still a 100% free service. Nothing has changed. You can still upload as many paints, to your cars and change them, however you want, and it's the same as it always has been. It's just if you want to be a pro member and support Trading Paints and help improve the service even more, then there you have the option to do so now. So that's a great thing. And as we're getting a little bit closer to race time, Kane, just getting real pumped up, and be exciting to see who all shows up for the race tonight. It's going to be a really fun event. And before we move towards the track, there's a few more things we got on the docket here to talk about. And still talk about, I don't know if you were ready to go back and talk about the short shift program, which is just, I'm excited to show everybody.
How exciting is that?
Yeah, let's go back and talk about that. We had Jay and Sandman that put together this new show called Short Shift, and in this show they talk about upcoming things that iRacing's doing in regards to the V8 Supercar, and it's unique. We get to see what Jay and the Sandman look like in person, have them in person going through this information. It definitely makes for a great show. I was really impressed with it, and I really enjoyed watching it. So that's on the YouTube site, so go to the YouTube site to check that out, everybody.
Yeah, it truly is an amazing show, and you guys, I can't stress it enough. Just go check it out. They really do a phenomenal job putting on a great show right there in person. A lot of times you hear the commentators from V8's Online, and you're familiar with our voices, but you don't get a good personal look on with them, and that's what you get here with this show. They're right there, and they're right there, and they put on a fantastic show talking about all the great things that the sim world has to offer and that V8's Online has to offer, and it's just a great show. So go check it out, guys. You're not going to want to miss that. And thanks, Kane, for letting everybody show that, because we want to get the word out and let everybody know to go check it out.
Yeah, definitely. They put a lot of work into it, and so it's important that that we at least mention it and get it out there for the America's viewers to go see that, and I know they'll get a kick out of that as well.
Speaking of the America's viewers, I am so excited at how the V8 Supercars Americas series is looking to grow here soon. I can't wait to see how it grows here in the weeks and seasons to come. And knowing that we had such an incredible race at Watkins Glen, I just can't wait to get things started here at VIR today. And it's about another, probably about another 3 minutes until we can head over and get some images from the track. But a couple of anything else you want to throw down before we get time to head over to the track, Kane?
Yeah, we still got about 4 minutes before the track opens up for us to go in, so
Tell you one
Let's
thing we
find
can.
the standings and go through the standings.
We also don't know any of the final information on any of this, but we will have some events upcoming for week 13. And as soon as we have any more information on that, we, of course, will bring it right here to you. So look for some more information on that in next week's show.
Yeah, OSR and V8s Online have kind of partnered together for, guys, last as long as I can remember on week 13 to host what they call the Race of Champions, and all of the top V8 supercar drivers and even other drivers, some of them from some of the other divisions that V8s Online broadcasts, get together and race in this series. They pick a different car each night, and they got a choice of 6 or 8 cars, and then of those they'll pick 4 cars or 6 cars, something like that they race. And then same with the tracks. There's a total of 8 tracks that they can pick from, and of those they'll pick 4 or 6. Not exactly. It's been a while since I've watched one that they pick and that they'll race on. So it can be mixed up either way. They can run MX5 on Watkins Glen, or they can run. The options are limitless, really, on those tracks of what they can run, whether it be the Daytona prototype or the NASCAR. So they'll run different cars on different tracks, and it's I've always enjoyed watching how you get this V8 supercar guys in a NASCAR or a DP, and can they hang with the best? Can they hang with the best of those guys too? And they have proven that they can. So it makes for exciting racing whenever you start taking people out of their regular element and putting them into another element. So we've got that to look forward to in a couple weeks, and I'm pretty excited about that one.
I am too, Kane, and I did have a chance to check out when they did the last week 13 event, and it was held at Bathurst in the V8 Supercar, and what an incredible event it was. Great participation, and some of the best in the business were there, guys. The broadcast was phenomenal. The driving was phenomenal. And it was just a great charity. It was just a great event. And so we're excited to be bringing that back, and can't wait to get all the final news on it. And just stay tuned next week. It'll be our next week, and we'll bring the news right there to you. But now that we got the points up here on the board, Kane, I can't help but get excited and talk about our championship standing. Here we are after round 10 from Watkins Glen, and look at the points. Marlon McMullen up there with 1,051 points, 1051 on top, with Michael J. Johnson right there, right behind him with 1,014 points. That is really close. There for the lead there to take the championship here this season.
Yeah, that is extremely close, the way that iRacing does their point system. So that could go either way. There's still 2 races, the race tonight and then the race next week that can decide this championship, and it can go either way at this point.
And I can't stress how important, ladies and gentlemen, that tonight's race at Virginia International Raceway will be. It is going to be really, really important to this points championship. This is the part of the season where you cannot afford to get any kind of wreck in your car, finishing laps down in the back of the pack. It will kill you in a chase this close. I mean, this is, I don't want to call it a chip, but in a race this close for the points championship, it is just too crucial, and the drivers know that, Kane. They know what they got to do coming into this event tonight. They know what it all entails, and what's going to be needed for them to be able to fight next week going into the final.
Yeah, they certainly do. I know that Mike Budzing, Stuart Dent, Kurt Stenberg, those guys, the race for third is so close. Any one of those 3 guys could end up in that third place spot in the championship, and that's as you've said before, high-priced real estate, that third place position in the championship. So it's going to be an exciting battle, this championship.
And I can't, with further ado, we're getting closer and closer to race time, Kane. I'm getting a little antsy, getting ready to see some action out on the track. I can't wait Just trying to see. It looks like we can start to head over towards the track and sees the guys getting ready to get this thing started.
Yeah, we're heading that way, and it won't be long now. We'll be getting some race pictures here before too long. Just about another minute or so.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing I want to talk about in the points championship is if you're not battling for the points championship, look at some of the names we have here on the chart. I mean, just a phenomenal job by drivers like Mike Budzing. We saw him do a incredible battle last week. Kurt Stenberg, Stuart Dent. Look at Zach Baker up there with Chris Stone and Cody Malloy and Chad Chastain. We saw obviously his dominating performance last week. It'll be fun to see what he does at a totally different track in VIR this week. It's totally different than what we saw at the Glen in New York. We're going to go a little bit further south down the eastern coast of the United States to Virginia, and VIR is actually a little bit further south than most people think. It's actually on the Virginia-North Carolina border, and if you haven't ever been there before, it's absolutely beautiful out there, the countryside, and it is just absolutely gorgeous. It's actually a resort track, and if you've never heard of a resort track, Kane, it's really interesting because a resort track is actually like a country club. What they do is they actually, the track opened back in the 50s and then it closed in the 70s, and it reopened in 2000, and the owner knew that it had to have a way to survive, and he did that by getting members like a country club would. And you actually have members that pay a membership fee, and they get track days that they can go out there and do whatever they want to on the track. And the money that comes in year-round helps them to hold huge events, and that keeps them open to host those events. And that's actually how it grew to be. So it's kind of just an interesting little fun fact there. And about VIR, I thought was pretty interesting. I figured I'd throw it in there. And looking also, getting ready to watch some V8 Supercar action. Just cannot wait to see how these guys do. This is, one more time, I gotta say it, this is going to be a total different strategy than last week. Last week it was complete fuel strategy with the pit stop. You had to save fuel to get to that lap 26, 27 range. Great job by the drivers last week, by the way, getting there. This week's going to be a little different. As long as they don't overdo it, they should be able to run the whole distance on a full tank, Kane. No problem. They should have no problem at all making it the whole 18 laps. Although it is a longer, circuit. It should be very doable for these guys to make it around in one fuel cell. So in one fuel tank. So look for that to be big. The only time we should see somebody in the pits is to fix damage, or maybe if they burn off too much gas, but I just don't see it happening this week.
Well, as we get ready to grid, let's take a look at the starting grid here. We've got Graham Filan on the pole with Wayne Jaffer in the second spot. Isaac DeFigueiredo will be starting in the third spot, Jim Davey in fourth. Matt Yaumans in the fifth spot, Daniil Manikoff in the sixth, Richard Byron in the seventh, Luke Betts in the eighth, Paul Slavonic in the ninth spot, and Guy Burkhart will be starting in 10th. And we got Niels Jordan in 11th, Britton O'Brien in 12th, Steve Pritchard in 13th, Dan Ball in 14th, and 15th will be Shane Best.
Yeah, and as they're getting ready to go, Kane, I'm going to let you take a screen.
Yeah, we should be getting ready to go green here any second.
Yeah, a lot of big names in the lineup, Kane. Marlon J. McMullen, Sanjin Delilac, John Emerson.
We are green. They're off.
And these guys are taking off, and what a fantastic job. Let's keep our eyes open for clean start. That's going to be crucial right now. Looking on the track right now, Kane, so far so good. And this could get real crazy real fast right now. Oh, trouble in the back. The number 3 car of Charles Nagg gets into Nigel Baines. And we got some more trouble, as it looks like Stuart Dent involved as well. He's able to break away okay, But definitely go back, Charles NG there in the number 3 Ford Falcon. Tough break right there for him. He definitely has some damage to the front right of the Ford right there. That's going to be, yeah, he's going to have to get towed. Gets towed back to the pits. Tough break there for the number 3 of Charles Nag.
It's funny you mention that, because got the wrong racers in my list. Even the podium or the grid that I read off, wasn't the right drivers. So I'm gonna have to see what I can do to find the right drivers here.
Yeah, I think that you're in the
maybe I've got it right, but I don't see Nigel Baines anywhere in my list.
No, you're good, Kane. There was 2 different splits, and you're in the other split, so I'll have to jump over there with you, buddy.
Well, then I'm in the wrong split. How did that happen?
I don't know. Technical difficulties do happen, but I will read off what's going on in the top split over here with John Emerson and Marlon J. McMullen. And right now,
this is embarrassing. How in the world did I end up in the wrong split?
Oh, that's all right. Like I said, I'll read off what's going on until we can get the right split pulled up. It's nothing wrong there with that. And right now, John Emerson is out to a decent lead. Definitely catchable as Marlon J. McMullen is back in the 3rd position, just passed by Sanjin Delilik there in the number 5. And I'm going to read the way that they run right now. We're only on lap number 2, so plenty of time for the camera images to get brought over to you live, guys. John Emerson out in the lead right now with Sanjin Delilik out in 2nd. Marlon J. McMullen is currently in 3rd with Chris Stone in the 4th position. Michael Schrayer currently in 5th in the number 6 Ford with Kurt Stenberg back in 6th. Jake Burton in the number 12 car is in 7th with Corey Preston. He's currently in 8th. In 9th right now is Timothy Jackson with Charles Nag in the 10th position. Nigel Baines is currently in 11th, 12th Stuart Dent. John Litzo is currently in 13th with Chad Chastain, last week's winner, back in 14th. Dave Oliver back in 15th, and 16th is Michael Yeo. And that's how they are right now. The pit road is loaded right now with drivers from the beginning there. I'm looking right now, and still in the pits is Stuart Dent. He's just now getting away from the pit box. Good job by his crew to get the car fixed, repaired, and he's heading back out on the track with minimal damage. Nigel Baines still in the pits right now, as well as Chad Chastain currently off track. Dave Oliver is off track currently. These guys are all in the pits, so look for that. Chad Chastain still trying to get fixed. His car just finally got towed to the box, so look for him to be back on track in about a minute, maybe. Just depends on how his pit crew does. Back out to the lead right now. Our leader is John Emerson in the number 1. And I tell you what, John Emerson doing a fantastic job here at VAR, breaking away from Sanjin Delilik back in 2nd place. And it's funny, I saw Sanjin in the Nissan Altitude Falcon, and he did a really good job in practice this week, and it definitely shows as he jumped out and is holding down the 2nd place position. Good job by Sanjin to get around Marlon J. McMullen there at the beginning. Marlon's hanging in tight. I got a great battle back there for 2nd place right now with Marlon McMullen. Our points leader right now is currently creeping in on Sanjin, so look for that battle to continue in just a moment.
Well, I am starting to get some video footage brought up. You're doing a great job calling that one for us. Man, I don't have no idea how that happened, but I'm going to have to double check that one in the future to make sure that don't happen again.
It's quite all right, buddy. Things happen. Technical difficulties are sometimes unavoidable, and that's all right. As long as we got it right now, like I said, I have a history of radio broadcasts, so no problem. I can paint a picture if I need to. But I tell you what, this battle right now between the Dayco Ford Falcon of our points leader, Marlon J. McMullen, creeping in on Sanjin Delilac, and a great job there by the Nissan Altitude Ford Falcon. He is holding off the Dayco Falcon of Marlon McMullen, and this is going to be a crucial battle for the second place position. Obviously, Marlon McMullen knows the severity of this race and the importance he must have in the championship points. Battling on a close second place is Michael Johnson, and I don't see him on the track tonight, so I don't know if he got a chance to run last night or if he's just taking the week off. We're going to have to definitely find that out, Kane. That ought to be really, really interesting to find out. But right now, here we see, looking around the track, I want to check on some of the drivers who had a huge wreck at the beginning, Kane, and trying to check to see how some of them are faring here after their pit stops. It really shook things up, as we currently have 9 drivers on the lead lap. 16 started, 9 on the lead lap. Back in the 6th position in the Dayco Ford Falcon, teammate of Marlon J. McMullen is Jake Burton, and he's doing a good job right now in the 6th position, holding off Michael Schreier there, and a great little battle right there for the 6th position. Going to be fun to see how that fares out. Right behind Michael Schreier is Corey Preston and Timothy Jackson. Oh, just goes off track. Tough break there for Timothy Jackson back there, trying to hang on to the 9th place position. He is the last car on the lead lap.
All right, JD. I've got video up of this race.
Excellent. Glad that we're all here on the same page. And once again, guys, we apologize, but let's move on forward and get back to some good racing here. Always exciting racing here in V8 Supercars Americas. Really happy to be bringing this coverage to you guys. Week 11, points are just getting crucial. It's such an important race, and John Emerson is doing a wonderful job out in first place. But unlike Chad Chastain last week, breaking out to a humongous lead, John Emerson has actually only got about a 3.5, maybe a 4-second lead over Sanjin Delilac and Marlon J. McMullen. Both of those drivers, even though they're battling, are still hanging in there, and this could still become a big race down to the wire.
Yeah, Sanjin and Marlon are having a great battle there for the second place. Marlon is definitely working on Sanjin. He knows he needs to get up into that second spot in order to get the maximum points.
Yeah, he definitely does, but one thing Marlon's got to be careful. He's in a very intense battle right now. He knows that he's got to stay out of trouble at all costs. Third place is a lot better than getting a wrecked car and getting stuck back in the 12, 13 spot. So, and he knows that, and that's why you see him tucked in nice and tight. Looks like he's going to go out to the outside to make a move, and decides wisely to tuck back in. That was very interesting right now, going through these tight S-turns, and he's going to make a wonderful pass right there for to take over second place over Sanjin Delilac.
Great pass. Nice move by Marlon McMullen, right through the S's.
Definitely replay worthy for next week's highlight reel. Remind me to put that move on there. That was fantastic, Kane. That was definitely ESPN top 10 right there, buddy. That was a nice move. Very rarely good move by your points leader, Marlon J. McMullen. Man, and I tell you what, using a lot of brakes this week, Kane. These brakes are a huge, huge attribute to the car this week. Drivers really, really relying on braking. A lot of people don't realize that in these V8 Supercars, braking is more important than throttle control almost. Is you really can make up or lose a lot of time on how you brake these cars.
Yeah, back in the 7th spot, we've got Michael Schreier really working hard to take over that 6th position.
Yeah, this has been a battle that's been going on for quite some time, as we currently are on lap number 6, ladies and gentlemen. And Michael Schreier doing a really good job of still just threatening the number 12 of Jake Burton. And Just a wonderful job there. Yeah, and that, you know, Michael Schrayer there in the LED Innovations Ford Falcon. Nice little paint there by Michael Schrayer, trying to catch up to Jake Burton up in the Dayco Ford Falcon. You're going to see him get all the way up to the bumper right there as he's just making sure that LED logo is shining bright in the Dayco rearview mirror of Jake Burton. I'm telling you, that's exactly what that is. You know, a lot of times these drivers, they just want to get into the rearview mirror and put the pressure on, and that's what you want to do. Force the other guy to make the mistake. You got to stay smooth, keep your lap times, you know, consistent, and stay smooth. That's the key, especially at a track like VIR. Look back to how Marlon J. McMullen made that pass on Sanjin Delilah. He waited till the right time and made his move, and it worked out phenomenally. You got to capitalize on your opportunities and not fail on them. That's the key to today's race, guys. Definitely.
Looking at the onboard here with Michael Schrayer, you can really see how challenging this track is, and see how much Jake Brunton up ahead is sliding around on this track. Going through that high-speed part of this course is tough. It's not a whole lot of grip there, and through these high-speed S-turns is definitely a challenging part of this track.
Tell you what, not only is there not a lot of grip, Kane, there's not a lot of curb to use to the driver's advantage either. You know, a lot of courses, these V8 Supercars can use some curbs to kind of help them shift the car's weight and help it turn a little bit easier. Not so much here, as this is a narrow track, not a lot of passing opportunities. There is, but you, like I said, you have to capitalize on a small window opportunity when they arise. And right now, good job by both of these drivers in defense mode up there by the Jayco Falcon, but good job on the attack as well. So it'll be fun to see who wins this battle.
Let's go back up front and check on the Sanjin and Marlon McMullen battle. Sanjin is sticking right with Marlon through the toughest part of the course here.
Yeah, I tell you what, he did, you know, get passed by Marlon, but he's not going to give up. Sanjin doing a really good job right there in that Nissan Altitude Falcon of hanging right there with Marlon J. McMullen. And, you know, this could continue to be a great battle all the way to the end. I'm checking on John Emerson, who's out in front and has smooth sailing ahead of him for quite some time. I don't think lap traffic will be a problem for him for quite a while. And so he's doing quite all right out there. All he's got to do is keep his nerves calm and just drive his race. It's John Emerson's race to win now, and he knows that. He's just got to do the driving that he does best and hope the best happens. But you see Marlon J. McMullen right now, as he was able to pass Sanjin Delilah just a few laps ago, and now he has that open track in between him and John Emerson. So let's see if, it'd be fun to see Marlon, if he can make up that time on John Emerson and have a battle to the end. Currently on lap number 8, Kane, of 18 here at Virginia International Raceway. And I'm going to do a quick rundown of how they run right now, as the field had gotten shaken up big time there from the beginning. So here we go. I'm going to start off with our leader, John Emerson there. And good job by John Emerson once again. Got to give him credit for jumping out like that in the main performance PC Ford Falcon.
He has proven this season. He has proven that he has got some serious speed. John, he won Bathurst, and
which was incredible.
Yeah, that was a great race. And just this whole season, since Bathurst, he's really stepped up his game and has shown these guys that he's definitely a contender.
He truly is, and back in second place right now is Marlon J. McMullen in the Dayco Ford Falcon. Right behind him, battling tough in third, is the Altitude Brighton of Sanjin Delilah. Chris Stone back in fourth place in the EasyWorksX.com Ford. In fifth place right now is Kurt Stenberg, who's high up in the points championship as well in the Dayco Falcon. Back in sixth place in the Dayco Falcon is the number 12 of Jake Burton. Right behind him is Michael Schrayer in the LED Innovations Falcon, and Corey Preston in the high-powered racing Falcon is in eighth. Timothy Jackson is back in ninth in the Australia Falcon, with Stuart Dent in the Xbox One Ford Falcon. He rounds out our top 10. Right now, Michael Yeo is in the Snap-on Ford Falcon. He is in 11th. In 12th right now is Charles Nagg, and he was the one that had that damage and really was a big part of that wreck at the opening, as well as Nigel Baines. Nigel's back in 13th and currently in the pits. John Litzlow is in 14th and currently out of the race. Chad Chastain is currently out of the race, as well as Dave Oliver. That's how they run right now, Kane. It's a really great race. We currently leaders on lap number 9, and let's get back down on the track and get live with it. Looking around the track right now, still a great battle going on with Marlon J. McMullen, but he's really kind of broken away a little bit from Sanjin. So Marlon just a little bit faster on his lap times, as well as on the last lap. Marlon J. McMullen ran a 149.69 and Sanjin ran a 150.44. So that's going to be it. That's the reason for that small gap there, that he's been able to break away. A little bit of breathing room for Marlon. But I just don't see Sanjin disappearing real easy. I think he'll still stay up there and attack Kane.
Yeah, I think Sanjin's going to do his best to try to stay with Marlon and follow him through this track. That way, Marlon's definitely got good pace. If Sanjin can just kind of try to tuck in behind him and maintain pace with him. This track is tough. Anything can happen. So the closer he stays to Marlon, the better his chances of Marlon making a little mistake, and then Sanjin's right there to take over.
Yeah, I agree 100%, Kane. And right now, Michael Schraer trying to catch up to Kurt Stenberg, and a good job there by Kurt to kind of break away. Currently in 5th place. And watching him, he's taking these corners beautifully right now and getting in a really good rhythm. And that's something you have to do here at Virginia International Raceway, is catch a good rhythm. It's, like I said, totally different than the high-speed track of Watkins Glen from week 10 as we move into Virginia International Raceway. Very difficult track for these heavy V8 supercars.
Yeah, and Virginia's kind of a beast of its own. 3.244 miles, 20 turns. It's 18 laps that they got to do here. It's pit lane speed's 45 mile an hour. I didn't notice that. They're not going to have to worry about that today because there's no pit stop. But what they are having trouble with is the overcast skies. That's really making it difficult for the drivers to have decent visibility here today. And 72 degrees Fahrenheit with 54 degrees percent humidity, 2.6 knots and a southern direction wind, and that's not a whole lot, about 4 mile an hour I think. And so the wind's probably not too big of a challenge for them today, but definitely the overcast skies is probably their biggest concern today.
Yeah, the thing that this is, if there's a track that's really tough in overcast conditions, it's definitely this track. And the reason I say that is a lot of tracks you go to, you got a lot of warnings. And what I mean by that, Kane, is there's a lot of colored warnings on the track. There's a lot of, sometimes like when you go out to Laguna Seca, places they'll have the apex markers marked for you in bright red, or they have really colorful curves that are coming up. They'll help show the elevation changes. It's other tracks, Bathurst has different colored walls for different sections to help some of the drivers up and down the mountain. This track is just gray, and it's green from all the grass. It's beautiful countryside, but it's gray. The curb matches the road. It's just no warnings for the drivers, so it's really tough for drivers to come in here that don't have a lot of experience here and do really well. So I'm actually very surprised at a lot of these drivers and how they've adapted to this track. They've actually doing really well. One of those races is our race leader John Emerson, who's just got out from the start and just been phenomenal. Running his last lap was 149.19, really good lap time. Marlon McMullen doing good as well. Not quite as fast, but almost there, as he ran a 149.9. So he's just a little bit slower than him right now, but that could change. We don't know how much One thing I was going to watch is the tire wear on John Emerson. If with the pace he's running, Kane, around a tight turn, there's a lot of turns here, and I just keep watching a bright orange glow, not from his paint, but from those brakes. I'm just wondering what that tire wear is doing up there for John Emerson. He's a fantastic driver, and I know he knows what he's doing. But if he wears too much of those tires down a little late in the race, Marlon McMullen could come up here and, contend for the lead. It's a long shot, but it could happen.
Yeah, he's probably taken tire wear into account and has taken that into account in his strategy to get ahead right off the bat and have a pretty strong gap. He's got 5.7 seconds or so, or 7.5 seconds rather, in front of Marlon. So if he does start to slow off, he's got some pretty good breathing room there.
Yeah, he really does, Kane, and it's just going to depend on, like I just said, how those tires do wear off. That's just going to be fun. A lot of good job by a lot of the drivers. I want to check on some of them. We had just a catastrophic wreck at the beginning of the race. Stuart Dent involved, Michael Yeo involved, Charles Nagg involved, Nigel Baines as well. And Nigel finally getting rolling again as he's just trying to collect some points. There in the Spotty Dog Cake Marsden Ford Falcon. Good to see him back out on the track, as well as Charles Nagg. He's back on out in the Australia Ford Falcon. Michael Yeo's back out on track. Just to give you guys an update on how some of these guys are that were involved in the wreck. They are back out. Stuart Dent probably doing the best out of all that were involved in the wreck, Kane, as he's in the Xbox One Ford Falcon. He is only one lap down right now. He had some pretty severe damage, but he went into the pits. Good job by the Xbox One crew to get the Falcon fixed back up, got the damage took care of, fresh tires, topped off the fuel, and back out on track in no time, and he's only one lap down. So good job. He's currently in 10th, so even though he's a lap down, he is in the top 10, and currently no threats is the next person behind him. Michael Yeo's 2 laps down, and so as long as Stuart Dent can keep driving, he'll be able to walk away over here with some pretty decent points. I know Stuart's capable of getting up there in the podium, or top 5 at least, and know he'd like to do better, but for considering the events that took place at the beginning, it could have been really, really bad for him. So all in all, a good job by the Xbox One crew to salvage here this week at VIR.
Yeah, I guess I'd like to say that the broadcast, or the race that I was watching, everybody got off clean, so there was no big wreck at the start, at the beginning of this broadcast, because we was watching a different split and everybody got off pretty clean on that one.
Well, like I said, it's a technical difficulty. It won't happen again, but the good news is we got to see a little bit from both splits, and got to see a little bit from the guys in split 2 there for a moment, and glad that they got away clean. I'm sure these guys would have liked to as well. And from what I saw in this race while I was watching it, I actually was fortunate enough to get to see the source of the wreck when it happened. And it was just the story of the guys were racing really clean, but they were all too close. And as narrow as this track is, as soon as they got into the turns, it was just too many cars and not enough track. And that's all it was. Ran out of room, one car gets into the next, and they just piled up. It was just a rough little wreck there at the beginning. And I know it's a huge disappointment to all drivers involved. But a lot of them have rebounded nicely. Unfortunately for John Lizzo, Chad Chastain, and Dave Oliver, who are currently in the garage area and done for the day, it looks like.
Yeah, tough break for those guys. Since Chad's been back driving in the Americas, he's done a tremendous job, especially last week at Watkins Glen. It's definitely a shame to see him out of this race. It would have been great to see somebody up there battling with John Emerson and Marlon McMullen, and I know that Chad probably would have been up there giving him a run for the money, but these wrecks are definitely part of the racing, and it's a shame when it happens, but it happens to even the best of us. The best of them, because I'm definitely not in that category, but happens to the best of them.
Tell you what, Kurt Stenberg in the Dayco Ford Falcon still doing a phenomenal job, still holding down the 5th position. He's trying to get a little ground to catch up to Chris Stone up in the EasyWorks.com Ford Falcon, who's just now going around the famous oak tree here at Virginia International Raceway, heading up towards the old straight here. And, you know, if he can get just a little more speed somewhere on the track, I think he'll be able to battle up there with Chris Stone for the 4th place position here pretty soon, Kane. He's not too far behind. He's got enough to where Chris can see him in the rearview mirror, but he has got a, you know, it's still a nice size gap there. He's really going to have to find some time somewhere here on this track. And, you know, Kurt Stenberg, if you look at his point standings on the charts, he may not be trying to get up there too far. He's doing a really good job. And for a lot of these drivers, this is not one of their favorite tracks. Let's just be honest here, Kane. And so a lot of them are actually, if they get up in the top 5 with the point standings the way they are, actually really proud of where they're at and know that a top 5 here, you know, leaving out of here with the top 5 is actually pretty good. So he may just be trying to take it easy. But, you know, he's still pushing on forward pretty nice.
He is, and he's gaining some time on Chris Stone. He's gained about a quarter of a second that lap, so it's possible that we could see him up there battling with Chris here in the next lap or two. But one thing to keep in mind is this championship season does allow a couple of drop rounds for the drivers, that if they don't finish that great a race or two, that they'll take those races off the points, and I think they get 4 drop weeks, so their bottom 4 races won't even count at the end of the season. So it's that's also something for these drivers to keep in mind. If they're not real happy with this track, they can, if they don't finish well, this will be one of their drop weeks, and their better weeks will count toward the championship.
And that is such a nice feature for these drivers. Is it's not really a safety net, but it is a safety cushion, if you will. As you know, racing has its ups and downs, and the downs happen on those days when there seems to be nothing you can do. Right now, leader John Emerson passing Nigel Baines in the Spotty Dog Cake Marston Ford Falcon. Good job by Nigel to let the leader by with ease. But you know, when you have a bad day, there's nothing you can do about it. Instead of, you know, a lot of drivers will get so upset, and with the drop weeks, it really allows the drivers to not take it to heart so bad, and that's a nice, you know, nice cushion for them. I don't want to say it's a safety net because it's not guaranteed. Once you used up enough of your weeks, you know, you got to perform. So in this 12-week season, so you know, it's not like we're giving gifts away, but it's a nice cushion, and it's a nice, you know, it keeps some of the stress down, because it can get really stressful out there, Kane. Tell you what, Kane. Yeah, I tell you what, as we're watching that, just a little bit earlier, Michael Schreier in the LED Innovations Ford Falcon had broken away a little bit, but a good job by Jake Burton in the Dayco Ford to be catching up to him again. This is nice, a nice little battle here, and definitely Michael Schreier feeling the pressure. Michael Schreier, just an absolutely great driver in the V8 Supercars America Series, and definitely proud of him for catching back up here and putting on this battle. It's definitely going to put a little bit of intense moments in the head. Play a couple mind games maybe with Michael Schreier catching up to him like this. Excuse me, sorry. Yeah, great battle right now. Fun to watch. Checking back just to give you guys an update while we're watching this battle. John Emerson still is out in the lead right now, currently on lap number 17, and this race is winding down in a hurricane. Your leader, John Emerson, in first. Marlon McMullen currently in second. Sanjin Delilah currently in third, with fourth belonging to Chris Stone. Kurt Stenberg is in 5 with Michael Schraer in 6. Jake Burton battling in 7th with the best battle on track right now. Timothy Jackson back in 8th with Corey Preston in 9th. Stuart Dent is in 10th, I apologize, with Michael Yeo in 11th. Charles NG in 12th with Nigel Baines in 13th. 14th, 15th, and 16th are out. That's John Litzo, Chad Chastain, and Dave Oliver. Back to you, Kane. Well, the problem right now, Kane, is the white flag will be out this time by, so he's going to have to make it happen really fast. The only thing I can see maybe happens is Marlon J. McMullen is coming up to Nigel Baines as lap traffic, and maybe if that can slow Marlon up just enough, maybe Sanjin can make a move, and that would make for one heck of a battle to the checkered flag. As the white flag is out right now, we are currently on the last lap.
And anytime you gotta pass a slow car, there's always that potential for something to happen. So hopefully, and I'm pretty sure everything will be fine, but I'm sure that Sanjin sees that car up there, and he's hoping that it may just slow Marlon down enough for him to gain those 3 seconds.
Yeah, I'm watching right now, and a beautiful job. Actually, Nigel Baines doing a good job of holding his speed. The way Nigel's running right now, Marlon may not catch him. Nigel really putting down a great pace right now, Kane. But I think Marlon may catch him here. Right now he's going to have to make a move. Nigel lets him right by. That's another thing I love about V8 Supercars America Series, Kane, is the sportsmanship shown. Here you see him going around the famous oak tree, and just the great sportsmanship. Here we are on the last lap. Marlon J. McMullen heading on to second place. Looks like he's going to have no trouble. And back out to looking at our leader, John Emerson, trying to head on to victory here at Virginia International Raceway, Kane, barring nothing catastrophic here at the end. He will ride on to a victory here in Week 11.
Yeah, John Emerson has done such a great job in his, the last half of this season. He's really stepped it up, and that is a great victory for John.
Yes, that was great as he just crosses the finish line. Here comes Marlon McMullen in the Dayco Ford Falcon, and passing in third coming up is Sanjin Delilah as he crosses the finish line. Here comes Chris Stone in fourth place in the EasyWorks.com Ford as he heads over to claim fourth place. Fifth place right behind him, Kurt Stenberg. Coming up now, here's Michael Schraer in the LED Innovations Ford heading up towards that start-finish line, and proud to do so as Jake Burton behind him in the Dayco Ford is going to finish in 7th. 8th, Timothy Jackson making his way around as he's going to try to finish in the 8th position. And Kane, it was actually a really good race here at VIR. I was expecting a lot of wrecks, but really only one wreck the whole race. Just a bad incident there with that was featured with Charles Nag and Nigel Baines and all those guys at the beginning of the race. Stuart Dent, Michael Yeo, Chad Chastain, John Litzo, Dave Oliver. That really hurt them at the very beginning. I hated to see that, and but it's part of racing. It happens, and the drivers know that. They're going to have to make it up next week when we head out to Montreal.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll bring that first lap incident next week on the race recap and let everybody see what happened there.
Yeah, definitely. I'll make sure that we have that for you guys to see in full in glorious HD next week. And once again, congratulations to John Emerson and on a fantastic job there. Really, really showed why he is the driver he has become. Like Kane said, ever since that victory on the mountain earlier this season, he has just shown tremendous improvement. Look at the gains and losses on the screen right now as Kurt Stenberg +1 started in the 6th position, finished there in 5th. Good job by him. John Emerson started on the pole and finished there. Great job right there by the top 3. Your podium, really top 4, but I want to give it out to our podium. John Emerson, Marlon McMullen, and Sanjin Delilah. And we talked pre-race, Kane, and I told you I saw Sanjin in practice this week, and I knew that this was the track that he probably was thought he was going to have trouble with, but with the amount of time he put into practice, it really seemed to pay off as he was able to get that final spot on the podium. And he easily could have had a 2nd place spot on the podium, Kane. That was a really good battle at the beginning of the race. He actually jumped ahead of Marlon on the get-go, but then Marlon did a really good job of working really hard and gaining as much time as he could just to make that pass and earn that 2nd spot. So good job by all top 3 drivers, putting on a fantastic performance here in Virginia. Can't wait to see how the points stack up at the conclusion here. Fantastic week for V8 Supercars Americas, and just a great job for all these guys. It'll be so fun next week as we head out to Montreal to check out just the finale of the season. Can't wait to see what the clinching roles will be.
Yeah, I agree. Next week is going to be great. I know a lot of the drivers really like Montreal, and it's a fun track. The V8 Supercar really does well there, and it's a fun track to watch. I love it, and it's going to be a great finale for this season.
It truly is, Kane. A lot of, like you said, a lot of favorites of a lot of drivers. It is an incredible track for V8 Supercar action, I think. In my opinion, I love it. You got long straight, you got a really tight turns, but you got a good mix of everything, and the reason a lot of drivers love it there is because a lot of drivers can run really fast there. I've seen some really low times in practice. I know a couple of drivers have practiced already for that track 2 weeks early because they're so excited about it, and that is going to just be one heck of a place to have a grand finale of this season. I can't wait to see how it ends up there. But once again, I'm going to do a final rundown here, Kane, of how the action concluded here at Virginia International Raceway here in Week 11 of the V8 Supercars Americas season. And your winner, one more time, is John Emerson. Congratulations to him on a job well done. Marlon McMullen, your overall points leader, comes in 2nd, so he will continue to improve up the charts. Sanjin Delilah is finishing the final podium spot. And great job by Sanjin. Chris Stone did a phenomenal job all race long and finished in 4th with Kurt Stenberg coming in the 5th place position. 6th place went to Michael Schreier as he was able to hold off the number 12 of Jake Burton. Great job by him to finish in 7th. Timothy Jackson did finish in the 8th position with Corey Preston finishing in 9th. Stuart Dent was able to round out the top 10 after the first lap incident and did a really good job. The Xbox One team really deserves a pat on the back for getting him back out on the track and being able to finish just 1 lap down. Good job by Stuart Dent. Michael Yeo was in the 11th place with Charles Nag in the 12th position. Nigel Baines was able to finish 13th with John Litzo 14th. Chad Chastain, last week's winner at Watkins Glen, unfortunately was not able to finish the race and finished in 15th. Dave Oliver did not finish either. He finished in 16th. And that's how it finished up here, buddy.
Yeah, it was a great race. It would have been a little more exciting to see how it would have been if some of my favorite drivers wouldn't have wrecked out at the start of the race, but we all know how those things kind of happen.
That's right, Kane. I was just getting ready. Looks like we're going to have some interviews here real quick. We're going to have some guys coming on in just a moment. You know how it is. The drivers getting out of their cars, getting the old helmets off and getting prepared to face the media, and that's exactly what we're going to have real soon. Looks like we have their 2nd place driver right now. Actually, I'm going to bring in somebody before that. I'm going to bring in Corey Preston, who's waiting on an interview, Kane. We'll give him a holler. And Corey Preston, can you hear us? Do you copy?
Yeah, I got ya.
Absolutely. And Corey, just a great job tonight, able to finish in the 9th position at a tough Virginia International Raceway track. It's truly a challenge for all the drivers. This is not typically a V8 supercar track, and I think tonight you guys really put on a fantastic show considering this is a very difficult track for this car.
Yeah, well, if you bought tickets to Gymkhana and dirt track racing, I think that's what you got.
Well, you finished in the 9th place position tonight, and looking back at the race, it really could have went a little bit. I don't know how difficult were you. Did you get to see that incident in the very beginning of the race?
No, I think I was in front of that. I think somebody's obviously just missed their marker and got into someone else, and then all chaos started. But I'm not going to comment on it.
Oh yeah, definitely. No worries, no worries. It was definitely. I didn't. Let's say I didn't review it, overanalyze it. I will after the race, of course. But at the time, I didn't want to overanalyze it. I know a lot of drivers were involved, and it really hurt a lot of drivers. Some were able to rebound, but a lot were not able to. And unfortunate event. But Corey, good job finishing, like I said, in the 9th place position. Great job for the high power racing team there for the Ford Falcon. You drove it nice tonight, and got to be proud. We're going into Montreal next week for the finale of the V8 Supercars Americas season. Anything you want to let us know about your preparations for the finale?
No, not really. You just treat it like any other race, but it looked like I was driving the car well tonight, sort of in reverse most of it, but yeah, I actually like Montreal, and it's a good track. Hopefully I can do well there next week.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be looking for you to do well next week. Like I said, I thought you drove very nice tonight. This is not an easy track. It's very difficult. I was actually expecting more incidents than we saw tonight. I was expecting to see a lot of guys losing it and getting into the grass. There's not a lot of room for error here.
Yeah, I was expecting that too, but I think I ended up in the grass like 5 or 6 times facing the wrong way. The second last lap I went for a passing move on Timothy Jackson and ended up facing the wrong way again. It's practically what my race was made up of, really. But yeah, lucky I was just managed to finish at home in 9th and not get disqualified.
Well, once again, Corey, thanks for coming by and talking with us. We really do appreciate it, buddy, and best of luck to you next week at Montreal.
Yeah, thanks, guys, and I've got to say, congratulations on the broadcast. You guys are doing a really good job.
Oh,
you haven't seen tonight yet. Wait until you see what happened tonight, and you'll change your mind a little bit.
No, it's not that bad. It was actually a really nice broadcast. The only thing is, at the beginning, we got a little bit of the first split, and then we had to come over to the second split. So
just opposite of that. We started in the second split and ended up in the first split. It was a little crazy, but we got it figured out.
Oh, which one was actually broadcast? Was it the one I was in, or was it the one that
Well, at the very start of the second split got broadcast, and that's whenever we realized that he was in one and I was in another, and so then I had to leave that second split and come up here and join you guys.
Yeah, we got in your split here in the top split by lap 2. I was broadcasting it via radio until the cameras could get over here. But all in all, good job by all you guys tonight. So we do thank you for coming by and talking with us, Corey, and hope you check out the broadcast, buddy.
Thanks, and I wouldn't beat yourself up too badly about the little mix-up in the splits. I mean, it's probably easy to do. I mean, all of us originally thought we were in an Australian split, so it wasn't going to be the one that gets broadcast. But no, don't beat yourself up too badly about it. I mean, you guys are only learning. It's only like week 2 or 3 of your broadcast. You'll get better in time, and I look forward to many broadcasts to come.
Oh, thanks for your kind words, Corey. And like I said, best of luck to you, buddy, in the HPR Ford Falcon next week for live from Montreal, buddy.
Thank you.
And that's Corey Preston, ladies and gentlemen. Next, I want to bring in here the points. Next, I want to bring in the overall points leader, Marlon McMullen, who was able to walk out of here on the second spot on the podium here at Virginia International Raceway. Marlon, do you get a copy from me, buddy?
Yes, I do, mate.
Absolutely wonderful job driving on the track tonight. Congratulations on the second place finish. Really put on a fantastic battle there with Sanjay Dalalik for just a little while and was able to retake second place and overall finish there. So a wonderful job driving tonight and congratulations to you.
Yeah, cheers. Thank you for that. It was a bit of a race of mixed emotions. I mean, at the start, wasn't the best start at all, and it's never a good dropping position, and I just had to sort of get in the groove behind Sanjay and just sort of find myself in the few laps, and I slowly sort of sussed him out in a few corners and see where I was a bit quicker, and I thought if I was going to put a pass on him, well, I got to get a good run out of the oak tree and try and get it done on the back straight. So, I worked away and I picked away at him for a while, and, he was driving really bloody good, and it was a bit hard, to keep the rears, maintained, because you don't want to heat those rears up. So, I was trying to monitor my rear tyres and just get really good clean exits, and, finally got the run on him on lap 5, and, I guess you could call it a bit of a fake. He just snuck it up on the inside to see, if it could be done.
I was about to say, Marlon, we're going to have to throw you on the highlight reel. Sanjay was doing a truly incredible job of holding you off and doing a great job of clean defensive driving. And, I mean, he was holding his own, doing a wonderful job. But that move that you put on there was just outstanding. Talk about capitalizing on the right moment. That was beautiful. And ultimately that allowed you to finish second. Good job back there on lap 5, I believe it was.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, that was one thing about being behind another car. You never want to be behind another car because you just want to sort of get out on your own by yourself around you, because it's such a long track, and you don't want to, follow other people's mistakes. And, I finally had the chance on the pass on them, and, I chucked it up in there and to see if it could be done. And it was enough just to break him, for that moment. And, went around him on the outside, and, I was really, happy with, the quality of racing from Sanjay, and at the end just pushed out and tried to catch up to John, but he was just too quick with his, I think he was doing 48s or something, so not much I could do really. He drove a sensational race, so good on to John. But other than that, I'm really happy with second, and it's at the end of the day, it's good points for the championship.
It really is, and obviously points leader going into the finale, the final week at Montreal. Can't wait to see how it goes there to close out the championship. Marlon, how is Montreal for you? Is it a good track for you to finish on?
Yes, I've always had some really good results here. It's one of those tracks where it sort of suits my driving style. I tend to turn a little bit earlier into the corners, and I sort of focus on getting really good exits. So I like aggressive sort of tracks where the curbs are, and you can use more of the car than what you should. And so we'll see how we go next week. We'll go on a good head after this race, and hopefully we can back it up.
Absolutely, Marlon. Great talking to you. Congratulations on a job well done again. And look forward to seeing you next week, battle for the championship.
Cheers. Thanks for that, JD.
And that's Marlon McMullen, everybody, driver of the Dayco Ford Falcon. Next, I want to talk to the driver who did such a phenomenal job driving with Marlon, and that is the driver of the Volvo Altitude Ford Falcon. That is Sanjay Dalalik. Good job, buddy. How are you doing?
Thanks, guys. Yeah, that was a good race. Still shocked on that move, Marlon. It just come out of nowhere. Yeah, it wasn't expected. Forced me that mistake. It was an awesome move. So I thought, I tried to catch him from there, but he definitely had the pace over me.
Well, it was absolutely fun to watch, that's for sure. Me and Kane had a great time watching you guys here. Hope you check out the broadcast. And, Virginia International Raceway, I knew it was going to be tough. I actually ran into you on a practice session earlier in the week, and so I talked about that pre-race. I said I did see Sanjay practicing out at VIR, and it paid off in the long run as you were able to get onto the podium here. Just a great job.
Yeah, I mean, I struggled with a bit of setup early in the week. So I got Graham's just off him before the race, and yeah, made a couple of changes and off I went with it, and it was, yeah, a lot better than what I had anyway. So thank you to him as well for the setup. And, yeah.
Well, thanks a lot, Sanjin. We always enjoy talking to you, buddy. And congratulations again on the podium finish here. And best of luck to you in the final week at Montreal.
Thanks very much, guys.
And that's Sanjin Dalalek, everybody, driver of the Volvo Altitude Falcon. And that's great talking to a lot of these guys. I want to bring in another driver in just a second. I want to bring in another Dayco Ford Falcon driver, and that's Kurt Stenberg, who was able to get a top 5 here at the Tough VIR. Kurt, do you get a copy with us, buddy?
Yes, I do.
Wonderful, man. And we saw you running a really good race as well. I thought for a moment there you were going to be able to get on pace to catch the number 4. I meant the fourth place driver at the time was Chris Stone. He actually finished one spot ahead of you, but you had such a great pace here at VIR. I didn't know if maybe you might catch him, but just ran out of laps at the end, and still got to be happy with a 5th place finish.
Yeah, definitely happy with a 5th place. I was trying to catch him, but yeah, his pace in the middle of the race seemed to be a little bit better than mine. So, but at the end, I started coming back and catching him, but ran out of laps. So.
Well, we definitely look forward to seeing you at Montreal next week. Is that going to be a tough place for you, or is that one of your favorites?
I don't mind Montreal. It's quite a good track. I like the curbs in the last chicane, and yeah, I've had a good result here last time, so hopefully it will continue.
Well, it'll be fun to see, as that will be the season final week, and it'll be really fun to see how you guys do next week. I really enjoyed watching you here at Virginia International Raceway. Like I was saying earlier, I was expecting there to be a lot more incidents than what we saw. We only had one major one at the beginning of the race, but really good job, clean driving by the rest of the race. So good job by all of you guys, and really look forward to seeing you next week. And that's Kurt Stenberg, everybody. Good job, Kurt. And that's, just the way it is. Kane, and, I actually was seeing, I had another guy wanted to interview Mike Yeo, driver. He was involved at the beginning of the race. Michael, do you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Wonderful. I wanted to get a little bit of retrospect on the accident at the beginning of the race as I saw it, but it happened so fast I couldn't get a glimpse on what happened. I know that I believe you were involved there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, got a little bit deep in there, and unfortunately touched Stuart Dent, but yeah, it's I think James Litzko got got you there.
I was going to say, although you were involved in that accident, Michael, you did a phenomenal job of getting back out on the track. Stuart Dent did as well, and getting back out there to finish 11th. Really good, as it could have been devastational to the whole day here at VIR. So a good job rebounding after that unfortunate incident.
Yeah, cheers, buddy. It was, I think, when James or John Litzko turned one around there at the start, that sort of sealed our fate. But yeah, I just had to try and reposition the wheel after the pit stop because I've got a removable wheel, and I tried to just press on and see if I could, regain some dignity, I suppose.
Well, you did a good job, and definitely 11th place finish will give you quite a few points there. And we are heading to Montreal next week, and a lot of drivers, it's one of their favorites. And so what is it to you? Is it going to be a tough week for you, or is it a nice place to finish out the season?
Well, considering I've only just had my first run in the top split, or made it to the top split, I've got no aspirations of getting up to the front there, but certainly the track is excellent track, and yeah, it provides some really cool racing. And as Stenny said, the curbs with the V8 are just sensational.
Cannot wait to see you guys next week. Best of luck practicing in preparation for the week ahead, and we look forward to seeing you out there, Mike.
Yeah, cheers, JD.
And that's Mike Yeo, everybody. We appreciate him coming by and talking with us. Truly enjoyed watching everybody in the broadcast. It was really great to hear from Mike. Tell us a little bit about the incident early in the race. Like I said, we will definitely have that on the highlight reel next week for the Montreal broadcast. But Kane, really good race here all in all tonight. A lot of good action we got to see by some good drivers. Let me rephrase that. Some great drivers. Marlon McMullen's move has to be the move of the race. That move he put on Sanjay Delilac was definitely a gutsy move, but it paid off, and it was very clean.
Yeah, that's true. One thing that Corey Preston touched on was that we didn't get split off by location this week. I don't know if iRacing must have changed something to make that not happen no more, but it was great to see all the top drivers competing with each other. Whether they were in Australia or here in America, they were all allowed to race together, and it made for a great race.
It truly did, Kane, and I'm hoping that they heard the voices of all the drivers. I know that I made my point in the forums, but iRacing is a great service, and they want to help the drivers. They want to do whatever the drivers want to make the service better, and I hope that they read what was on the forums there. I know I posted about let's make sure we get this fixed, but I hope they read it and might have sent them a little message or something. But it's really good to see that they didn't split it off. I love having the top drivers together, and that's how it should be split. It should be split by the ability, not by location, and really glad to see that. And that's a great point that you brought up there, Kane.
Well, hopefully we'll continue to follow that same pattern as we get to the finale next week, and then into a brand new season in a couple weeks. So
yeah, can't wait. It's always gets really fun when you get ready to close out a season and the aspirations of starting a brand new season. But before we move on to this new season, I really got to say it's going to come down to the wire there. Great job. Marlon J. McMullen knew what he had to do coming in here today as the points leader and did exactly that. Finishing in second place today was absolutely stunning job by him, and he definitely deserves that points lead right now, and we'll have to find out what he'll need to do to hold the championship.
Yeah, we'll have to do the math and have a nice presentation of who has to finish in what position next week in order for Marlon to hold out that championship, or for Michael Johnson to sneak up there and take it away. What position will he have to finish in order to take it away from Marlon?
Yeah, the race definitely has come down to two for the championship with Marlon J. McMullen and Michael J. Johnson. And I know I said that funny, but those two drivers, Marlon McMullen and Michael Johnson, are just tremendous drivers, and cannot wait to see how things finish out. Also, Kurt Stenberg and Mike Budzine have a great point battle going on right now, and that'll be fun to see how that plays out. And look at this, Stuart Dent's right there with him in the points, and Stuart got caught up in that wreck. And once again, I want to mention what a great job his pit crew did to get him in and out of the pits, Kane, and for him to come on to finish in 10th place is just unbelievable after all that happened. So Stuart Dent, look for him to fight for a good finishing spot as well. He could find his way finishing third.
Yeah, that's true. There's definitely that three-way battle for third. And don't forget that there was also a race yesterday and the race today, and the best points of the 2 days is what will go on to the points championship schedule. So if they raced yesterday and they finished better than what they did today, their points from yesterday will count toward the championship instead of the ones for today. It does take the best from the 2 days. So if Stewart raced yesterday, which I don't have yesterday's results handy, but if he did and he got a better score than today, then that'll be more beneficial for him, as it will give him the points from yesterday.
Well, guys, 11 weeks are complete here at the V8 Supercars America Series, and we're going to move on to the final championship round in Montreal next week for week 12. It's going to be just a phenomenal broadcast. You're not going to want to miss it. And any final thoughts here at Virginia International Raceway before we move on to Montreal, buddy?
No, not really. I'm just excited to get to Montreal and get Virginia behind us and start looking forward to the nice, brilliant track that Montreal is.
Yes, it absolutely is. And I tell you what, I can't wait to get this season championship. I can't wait to see who will hoist the championship this season. It has been just a fun season. It's been a learning season. And, it's like I said, it's our second official broadcast. And, we will move on to the third. And after that, guys, we'll start our first complete season of doing the V8 Americas series and cannot wait to get that started. So, real exciting things coming up, guys. You're not going to want to miss it. Don't forget to check out Short Shift at the greatest show here presented with V8s Online. Jay and Sam, man, put on a fantastic show. You're definitely going to want to check that out. We also have other great events going on through the week, Kane. We have our truck series. And tell them a little bit about some of the stuff we got going on.
Well, V8s Online, they broadcast the trucks. They also broadcast the Proto GTs, and now our Monday broadcast of V8, or our Friday broadcast of V8 Supercars, as well as their Sunday night broadcast, or is it Monday? Theirs is Monday broadcast of the V8 Supercars Australia. So it's a lot going on at V8s Online these days. 4 different broadcasts throughout the week. So.
And a shout out to all our fellow broadcasters. They do a really phenomenal job, and we really love watching their shows and challenge you guys to go watch them as well, because they put on such a phenomenal job and really call these races just about as good as you can. So,
last week at Watkins Glen, God, that was such a great race, that the Australian one. They did such a great job last week. It was amazing. They did a great job. The drivers did a great job. Definitely go back and watch that one, guys. Fantastic. And the Proto GT guys did a great job. And the trucks, V8s Online as a whole, they do such a great job. Someday we'll get a little bit better at this, and hopefully we'll do just as good a job as everybody else. And hopefully we'll be able to put on a great broadcast. Exactly what's expected of us as V8s Online broadcasters.
All right, guys. Well, look forward, because I know we're going to be coming with passion, power, and pride next week from Montreal. Cannot wait to get things started, Kane. But first, we got to end this episode, and we're running out of time this week, guys. Truly a tremendous race by all the drivers. I thought it was fantastic, considering this is one of the most challenging tracks these guys will race on all year long. I know that they're glad it's behind them as well. And good job once again to the first place winner tonight, John Emerson, and the points championship holder, Marlon McMullen. Also want to give a shout out to the third and final spot on the podium holder, Sanjin Delilik. Wonderful job there in the Altitude Volvo. And tell you what, great night by everybody, and cannot wait to see you. We'll be coming to you live same time next Monday night, live here on V8s Online. I'm JD Smith. Alongside me in the booth is Kane Craft, and we'll see you live from Montreal.
Muggleton just has to cross over this crest. He will cross the line and will win the championship.